Hello, my name is Jordan. I'm doing the weekly Devo this week. And I wanted to talk about waiting for your miracle. And I was reading this story this week in Mark, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. And it's Mark chapter 5, and it's like 21 through 41, but I'm not going to read all of it. You can read it. I'll just read little bits. But starting in verse 22, it says, One of the synagogue leaders named Jairus came, and when he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet and begged him earnestly, "My little daughter is dying. Come and lay your hands on her so that she can get well and live." So Jesus went with him, and a large crowd was following and pressing against him. So here we see Jesus is moving around and doing all his miracles. He just got off a boat and he comes ashore, and there's this huge crowd of people that are already waiting for him, expecting to hear from him and miracles and all that. And we meet this man, Jairus, who is desperate for his daughter to live. And so he asked Jesus to come with him to his home. Like, could you imagine, like, seeing Jesus and knowing who he is and what he's capable of, and all these people are there for him, and you have the guts enough to be like, you come to my home. So that just shows you how desperate he was, and also how bold he was to invite Jesus to his home to get what he needed from him. But so Jesus agrees, and they're on their way to Jairus' home to heal his daughter. And right here is where we see the woman with the issue of blood come into the picture. And they're traveling, and there's a huge crowd following him, and there are, crowding him and pushing him while he's traveling to Jairus' home to heal his daughter. And, she's been sick for 12 years. Nobody can help her. She's getting worse. And she's just desperate to be healed. So she touches his robe. And what happens? We all know what happens. She's healed instantly, just from touching his clothes. And Jesus is like, "Who touched me?" And the disciples are like, "Seriously? Really? Everybody's touching you." But he felt the power, his healing power, leave him and touch her. And so he talks to her. Well, she talks to him. She admits, "It was me, I touched you." And she's an outcast. She's sick. She's not supposed to even be around people. So she's made a huge risk doing this, fighting her way through a crowd to touch Jesus. And so they have a conversation, and he tells her, "You're healed because of your faith." And it's such a great moment for her. But can you put yourself in Jairus' shoes in this moment? Because he also is desperate for Jesus to heal his daughter. And he's probably thinking, like, time is of the essence. Like, we got to walk fast. They didn't have cars or bicycles, so they're walking. We don't know how far away it is. It could have been around the corner, or it could have been like an hour or two. We don't know that. But here's Jairus, who got Jesus to follow him to his home to perform the miracle that he needs. And this woman comes up out of nowhere and takes that miracle while he's expecting his miracle from Jesus. Now, it doesn't really say anything about Jairus during this passage of this scripture, but being a human, I can only imagine that he might have thought, what if she just took my miracle? And what if so much time is being wasted that we're too late when we get there? He needed this miracle, and he had to pause on his path and experience somebody else getting what he needed first. And I think a lot of times we find ourselves in that situation. Like, we're praying for something, we're believing for something, we're tithing and offering, expecting for that return that we need. We're desperate for something that only God can give us. And while we're waiting, we get to see so many other people get what they're waiting for first. And as much as that can be so frustrating in our flesh, I think we should be really careful to not go there in our minds like that was supposed to be mine, because it wasn't. What God has for each person is specific, and it's divine, and it's all according to His timing. And we have to remember that when we're watching other people get their miracle first. And, you know, this moment for Jairus also could have been a huge encouragement while he's waiting. Because maybe while he was traveling, he started to feel like, what if we're too late? What if this takes too long? What if she turns a bad corner while we're traveling? What if Jesus can't do it? You know, he could have been having these thoughts while he was journeying back to his home. But here in the middle of that, he gets to witness this amazing miracle and this amazing testament to faith with this woman to encourage him while he's on his way to his miracle. And right after this, after Jesus heals this woman and talks with her, they arrive at Jairus' house, and he tells Jairus' daughter in verse 41, he tells her, little girl, get up. And immediately she got up and began to walk. So they made it to his house, and he got his miracle, and his daughter lived. And I just love how these two stories intertwine and how we can so relate to how Jairus could have felt. And I just want to encourage you today that if you're waiting for something, if there's a miracle that you're waiting for, and maybe you're feeling tired and weary watching other people get their miracles first, just know that Jesus has more than enough. He is more than enough. He has enough for you. He has enough for them. He has enough for everybody. He is the God of more than enough. So rest in that today and stir up your faith, and don't grow weary in the wait. And when you see other people get their miracles, cheer them on, because what else should we do? Rejoice with those who rejoice, and know that God hasn't forgotten you. So that's all I have for today. Also, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, as Mother's Day is this weekend, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.